Hey, it's Lindsay from Side by Side Learning. Now, I am always getting questions on what Usborne books to use and how to use them with homeschooling. So I thought I would do some specific Usborne books for some different themes for you guys. I am an Usborne consultant, so if you're looking for any in Canada, then just go to my website. It's www.usbornebooksatHome.ca/side-by-side-learning. So you guys can get all of these awesome books there. And if you aren't in Canada, I can hook you up with an amazing American consultant. So here we go. Are you ready? I'll share the beginner ones and then we'll get older into the different stages. We just finished a unit on Egypt, so these are the books we used. Okay, so we used the Egyptian Times. This is a picture book, and we loved it. Then the next one we used was See Inside Egypt, and this one has little flaps in it, but it also has different information. So here's some flaps. So gorgeous. I love it. And it does say, and it does have some facts in it. It says there are hardly any roads in Egypt, but the great river Nile flows through the country, so everyone gets around by boat. And there are all kinds of different ones, and then it kind of shows you some different modes of transportation. So this one is really good. Now, if your kids aren't delicate kids, be careful with this one, okay? Because the flaps are just like a thicker paper. They're not cardboard like some of our other books. I've got 2 kids that are gentle with books and then 2 that are not. So this one I keep for my bigger kids, or I read it directly with my younger kids. So that's just something to be aware of. It's still an amazing book and I still recommend it, but you just have to be a little more cautious. Okay, so the next one, Pharaoh's Handbook. I'm in love with the whole handbook series. Like, I just love them. I love them. I should do a video on all of the different ones because they're just so great. Because what they do is they really walk you through what their life might have looked like. So here's the chapters that they go through. So there's ones like How to Be a Living God, there's Pharaoh School, All is in a Day's Work. So here's some things that they do, all the servants that they have, some of the projects that they work on, emergency measures. So this one is really great. And it even gets into their burial ceremonies and what they do with the different body parts. Like the liver and the stomach and the intestines are all guarded by different gods. Pretty cool. So this one's really fun. My kids read it like a chapter book, but it could be more of a researchy guide as well. And then this one is for your big kids. This is an encyclopedia. It is internet linked, which means that there is a ton of more information that you can find if you would like more information. So this is the Role of the King. Embalming and Mummies. Ugh. It both grosses me out and I love it at the same time. But I'm a history nerd. I didn't know it, but now that I'm a homeschooler, I'm like, I am. So there's the early life. Okay, so now here's some things. It shows you in their houses. Some of their, I'm throwing this red. Some of their art, what they did with the reeds, their linens. You can see here, their linens. And there's a time chart, so you can really get a good understanding of what happened and when it occurred. I really like this one. Lots of times when you read books, like chapter books or whatnot, about ancient Egypt, it'll reference their different gods, which is awesome. But sometimes I'm like, okay, what is this god of? What are they doing? And I can't keep up with all of them. I just need to learn more. But I really like that this has a god and goddesses one, because right here it'll say what Bes is and like what he did, what Isis was, Neith. Like there's probably like 30 of them. But I wanted to show you an internet link, what it looks like. Okay, so they're just like this. And it just tells you that it's internet linked. And this one says, for links websites, you can play an Egyptian game of Senet and examine tomb paintings with scenes of banquets and festivals. Very cool. So you can get that virtual experience while also using a hands-on book. It is such a great tool and a resource for all different age groups. My oldest is 7, so he wasn't reading this book. It was too much, but he really liked to flip through the pages, and it was a good discussion point. So we're going to keep this book for probably forever, just because it will be able to fit our lives for so many different ways. So if you have any more questions about ancient Egypt Usborne books, just put them in the comments and I'll answer them for you. I'll also put my link there so you can buy any if you want. And if you have a theme that you're working on putting together, if you're like, oh, we're studying farms or we're trying to figure out about space, let me know and I'll share some of those books for you, because there are so many amazing books that I can find you books from Usborne that you can base a whole unit study on. You can do social, history, you can do art, language, you name it. There's so many resources available. So let me help you make your homeschooling a little more enjoyable. Thanks for joining us. Remember to subscribe and like the video.